Boom, baby. We are live. Welcome to Tokyo Crypto Show, episode 92. What it do? We're going to talk to you guys today. All right. Listen, this is like probably the most irresponsible show we're ever going to do. So we're only going to do one. But we've ran the numbers and you guys are degenerate animals out there. So we have got the most degenerate coin that we can safely say that this is not financial advice, but if this was to be theoretically financial advice, this coin is looking to be extremely lucrative. So I just want to say something real quick. I'm going to introduce the members on the bottom half of the screen because some of you guys may not know who they are. So obviously I'm joined by Charlie from cultivatecrypto.com to my right. And then below me is Miguel, and he is the owner of Dollar Cost Crypto. And then we got Wasabi for Look Into Crypto. So if you guys don't know Miguel, Miguel is a fundamental expert, and this man lives, breathes, and his existence is crypto. He's so embedded into so many communities. All he does is just crypto, crypto, crypto. So I mean, this guy, if you guys don't know who he is, you got to go to his YouTube channel, Dollar Cost Crypto. Subscribe over there. He'll put the link in the chat, and then make sure. Dollar Cost and Look Into Crypto. Make sure you guys both comment in the chat. I'll make you moderators. Yeah. And then also we got Wasabi in the bottom right hand corner. It's perfect how we're lined up because me and Miguel are more the fundamental guys, and then over here the white people are the technical.
Hey, you're a racist.
Wasabi is I really like Wasabi's approach to everything he does with crypto and everything, because he does a lot of technical analysis, and I think he's a really much needed breath of sober air for a lot of people. He and I share the same sentiment that a lot of people are going to get wrecked in Q4. And because people are just not taking our advice. They're degenning too hard. They're trading on leverage. So he's also a technical analysis expert. And in my opinion, which is pretty solid opinion, in my opinion, these three guys here are the best trio in cryptocurrency. There's nobody better. Look, is Tone Vase still calling for a bearish Bitcoin? Because that guy's a complete joke. BitBoy is going to live for 3 more years because he's going to die of a heart attack soon. Alex Becker is 5'5". Fuck that guy. There's nobody better than this team here. This team of men has literally generated millions. That's a plural. Millions of dollars, not for themselves, because that's one thing, but for the men that have joined the Cultivate Crypto Mindset course, who have booked consultations with Miguel. These guys, this is the best trio you're ever going to find in crypto. These guys aren't sold out to any corporations. They're not shilling, Bitcoin gambling links or anything like that. There's nobody better. And you guys know who've already inside of the inner community, for sure that these guys are the best. But I just wanted to say that. So welcome, Charlie. Welcome, guys. How you guys doing this morning?
Good.
Hell good.
Yeah, doing great. Yeah, thanks for that intro. Appreciate it.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's one thing with new users that are entering the market today because they haven't had the experience of seeing what previous bear markets look like. So there's kind of this delusion that a lot of newcomers fall into when entering the market today, because quite frankly, like anybody that's buying coins right now, it's very easy to make money during bull markets. I mean, you can throw your money literally at most coins and likely make money in this market. Right. But the problem a lot of these people get into is they get this idea in their head that because they're doing that, they can keep doing that over and over again. They don't understand when the trend is in their favor. So they get this false sense of confidence before shit really hits the fan, before entering, let's say, a multi-year bear market that I still think is, we still have some time before we get to that point. But it's this false sense of confidence and mentality that they're better than the market, and then reality sets in when the trend is no longer in their favor. So there's good ways about managing risk in this market that's sustainable over long periods of time, and that's ultimately what I know Charlie and Miguel are very good at, especially with Cultivate Crypto is ultimately they're promoting sustainability and what's actually going to make you successful over long periods of time, which is what really matters. And plus, there's of course the really stellar picks as well in terms of coins and performance relative to assets such as Bitcoin and Ethereum that they've selectively picked through this entire bull market. So yeah, it absolutely helps. Making sure you're following people that aren't sold out to somebody that has some other motive in mind.
Yeah, go ahead, Miguel.
I was definitely these ref links and stuff and everything. You like these buy bucks and all these other things. Like they're just the influencers out here are just essentially trying to get you wrecked, and then that's how they really make their money. So they're literally taking you out to get sheared and killed.
Well, that's what Alex Becker's doing. He even admitted it on the video that we showed on Moon Gang on Monday. If you go to the very end of it, he was like, all these coins are pumping, so I might as well take advantage of it. And what he meant by that, because he's not saying exactly what he's doing in the background, what he's doing is he's looking for coins that have pumped a little bit and that can pump more, that are low cap, right? Low market capitalization. So that if some people, like, a few, 10,000 people are, for example, that watch his videos, because he has hundreds of thousands of subscribers, if not maybe close to 1 million now. I'm guessing, I don't know, just haven't looked at that recently. But so he has a lot of people following him. You can just say, hey, I like this coin if it's, just some low cap coin, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 the price goes up. He doubles his money. He sells on his followers and just dumps right on them. So you got BitBoy selling, links to leverage trading to new people who don't know what the hell they're doing. And then you have Alex Becker basically dumping on people's heads. So, yeah.
And you'll see too, like when the bear market rolls around, Alex Becker is going to go back to having his existential crises and dating thoughts on his on his channel, and talk about whatever scam or whatever scheme he's up to yet. But that guy, he is just like a real piece of work. I got to say, I think the biggest thing that makes everybody on this panel so successful is we actually have a very rare thing in the crypto community, and that's integrity. And a lot of these people they're just quick to shill and sell out for $1. And like, I think it's kind of leading to them having like a scarcity mindset. There's more than enough money for everybody to go around, and there's more than enough money for all of us to have like tons and tons and tons and tons of cash. But you have to be educated. You're not going to get it for free. And what we're talking about today, it is obviously, first and foremost, I must highlight that it is not financial advice. However, all four of us have aped in heavy into this coin, and full disclosure,
which is a good thing, right? Like at least people say, like, "Hey, I got this coin," so it's not, I'm not trying to tell you something that I'm not doing myself.
So if you guys go down, we're going down together. But we'll have this sad Naruto music playing for all of us. But in these bull market times, okay, obviously all four of us are experienced in the cryptocurrency. I've been in crypto since Q4 2016. Charlie, when did you get in crypto?
May 2017.
Moses, or sorry, dollar costs?
February of 2017.
February 2017, and Wasabi?
It was around March of 2017.
Wow. Okay, so we're all basically like right before the massive bull run, right. And that right there, I think, was like, talk about a red pill. I mean, that like scarred me for life. Like I had like trauma for like all of 2018. I was like, had like PTSD from the bull market. And then now I was kind of like, Charlie was the only one that out of me and Charlie that was really confident that the bull market was coming back. I was very skeptical. However, I was wrong and Charlie was right. And, I have enough integrity and dignity to admit that. And here we are in the thick of it again. And honestly, it feels like this thing's going to be over so quick. Like it's already April. April's almost done. Like I feel like it was April 1st just the other day, and now it's already April 21st, and it's like
Doge's already 40 cents.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to talk about. So Charlie's going to do a quick update on Bitcoin, and then dollar costs and Wasabi. If you guys want to just throw some commentary on top of Charlie's technical analysis, that's fine. Then we're going to go into the coin that we believe. Charlie, let's review Ethereum too, because it's kind of been pumping on its own.
Yeah, I'll take a look at both Bitcoin and Ethereum and Bitcoin dominance as well.
And in the meantime, shout out to Odin with the $4.99 super chat. Says shout out to Charlie's smooth haircut. Wonder who had him do that. It was me. Eric Chavez on Charlie's channel. Charlie's got monetization back, guys. So be sure to send him thousands of dollars. Eric Chavez $4.99 super chat says, guys, thanks for all the info. And then Colonel Sanders the 16th says, I'm ready to be diabolical with these coin plays. Also, Charlie, you look Chad as fuck with that cut, bro. John, I love you as much as John Anthony Lifestyle loves alcohols and trannies. That's a lot of love. So yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate all the donos, guys. And you make sure to Charlie got his monetization back after dealing with some bullshit. So be sure to show your love over there.
How much are you charging these guys for one Onichan these days?
On what? Onichan? You guys
yeah.
I can play the Onichan.
No.
I'll give him one Onichan for free. Here's one.
There you go.
You guys are gonna be singing our praises. You're gonna hear a lot of this after all the money you make. So. I think it's Wasabi's first time hearing the Onichan. Igor, 5 Great British Pounds says, thanks guys for the course. The bulletproof portfolio is going strong. This dip had nothing on me. Exactly. Yep. Let's bring this chart up here. Take a look at what we got to say. Here, go ahead, Charlie. We'll go full screen.
All right, you got it?
Yep, we got.
All right. So basically, where Bitcoin right now is at a decision point, right? So just really simply, we have these 60-day cycles, which Bitcoin averages, right? And we're counting here from low to low. This is brought to you a la Bob Lucas, Lukas. He's a OG crypto guy. Been here for been in the crypto space for quite a while. Been trading for, I believe, over 20 years. So go follow him on Twitter. He has some really good stuff. But basically, he found these average roughly 60-day cycles that have been happening over the last 4 or 5 years in Bitcoin. And so you can average low to low on these over that time period. So what we're looking at here for basically the next month or so is whether this area here on day 19 of the cycle is a top, right? If we basically put the top here, is that the top? Or by the time we get to the end of the 60-day cycle, which would be around May 25th, if it turns out to be exactly 60 days, then will it be going below this area and continue going down, or we will break the all-time high and make a new high in this cycle? So around the time to make that decision will be around April 30th. It could happen before, but it can also happen a little after. What we had in the last cycle, just to give some guys who maybe aren't used to this idea a little bit of info here. Day 29 of the last cycle, we had a high, and then Bitcoin dumped, but then it recovered. So it was kind of this fake out move. And we actually had a cycle high here on day 49 of that cycle. So we could get a similar type of move here. What basically we would need to watch for is this low here at the bottom of this candle. You can also go by this area here. Basically, Bitcoin should not go below that area. If it does, then it's likely that we actually have what we would call the first slightly bearish cycle, or what Bob calls a left translated cycle in cycle jargon, where we would have a top here. And then what would happen to the price if it did go below this area would basically be, let's say, for example, tests it and then loses it around the day 30 mark or before or a little bit after. Then we could probably go quite a bit down into the mid 40Ks, chop around there for a bit, and then towards the end of the cycle, maybe have a new low, and then Bitcoin gets back into a bull market phase. That's probably the worst case scenario for Bitcoin right now in terms of not gaining more in this bull market. But if we do gain a new all-time high, or at least regain about 60,000 around this 30-day mark, then Bitcoin more likely is bullish to maybe sideways until the end of May. If we do get Bitcoin going sideways, right, kind of a neutral cycle, then that would be positive for coins like Ethereum as well as the altcoins. So Ethereum, you can see since we have the same cycle date here, or very close. We have this low that happened on March 25th, and the last low on Ethereum was on March 24th. So Ethereum follows Bitcoin in terms of time pretty well, but it's actually beating it quite strongly in terms of price. So you see during this dump here over the weekend, Ethereum had this level here that it did not breach, whereas Bitcoin did breach that level for itself and is actually still around that area, where Ethereum has regained quite a bit from that low already. And so Ethereum's looking like it wants to go back up now. Ethereum will follow Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin does decide to pull down here, then Ethereum will also start losing this trend line area here, which is close to its 50-day moving average. So right now we're in the middle, right? No decision has yet been made on what Bitcoin's going to do. But if Bitcoin, like I said, does decide to go sideways, maybe ranging between 55 and 64K, then this is actually positive for the altcoins. And we're getting really close to this decision point. On my channel, let's see here. If I turn this to another color so it's the same color. Basically, on my channel, I've been showing this top trend line for quite a while, but actually I didn't add this bottom trend line here until I saw Wasabi discussing this on the Moon Gang show. So this is also a very important mark. The reason why is because we have these support levels on Bitcoin dominance. And for those of you who don't know what Bitcoin dominance is, basically it just shows this number here. In terms of market cap, Bitcoin has $1 trillion right now. The whole cryptocurrency market has 2 trillion. And Bitcoin is currently dominating at 50%, while Ethereum's at 13% of the entire market cap for all of cryptocurrencies. So we have this last support area for Bitcoin dominance at 50, basically 50%. If it does lose it, that would be massive for the altcoins. It'd basically say we're going to get like a really ridiculous altcoin season. So what we could see here is maybe for
praise Jesus.
Yeah, it would be fucking great, right?
I've never seen it happen before. Is this the first time it's happened in a long time, right? Like years.
Yeah. So we've had like mini alt seasons like this one last summer, right? From May to August, we had a really good DeFi run during this phase when Bitcoin dominance declined from 70% down to 60%.
Millionaires are made off that. Millionaires. Yeah. So much money was made off that DeFi summer. That was insane.
It was great. There was a coins. I mean, Chainlink was pumping. A lot of the DeFi coins were pumping. We had a lot of really good action, but then Bitcoin just like slapped the market, and said, "Hey, I'm coming back," and dominated up to 75% of the market almost. So we've had this good move in altcoins for the early part of this year, but this would just put it on steroids because it'd be kind of similar to what we had here in 2017 when Bitcoin dominance decreased. And for those people who maybe are like, isn't this Bitcoin dominance decreasing bad because then Bitcoin wouldn't be in control of the market? Actually, what it would do, and you can see this in 2017, when Bitcoin dominance declined for the first time from 95% all the way down to 30%, that was from February of 2017 all the way till the end of 2017. What happened to Bitcoin's price? It went from like $2,000 or $1,000 all the way up to $20,000 during that span. So it's good for Bitcoin as well as the altcoins. So we want to see if that holds. If it does hold, right, you might see Bitcoin come back here or maybe just go sideways for a bit. So we'll see. But the altcoins right now are pretty healthy, and Ethereum's stronger than Bitcoin, basically.
Go back to that, Charlie. Go back to that chart, Charlie. The Bitcoin dominance chart. I just want to explain something real quick.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So just correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking so as you see, like in late 2017, we had a massive dump off in regards to the dominance of Bitcoin, right? That long red candle on the far left side of the screen. That was in end of 2017. Charlie, if you can move your cursor over there to the late, that long red candle of the drop right there. So that right there is actually when Bitcoin pretty much peaked in its price.
Correct.
And the thing now, correct me if I'm wrong, but is that because the less Bitcoin there is in regards to the dominance, the less money it takes to make the price go up as well? Is that correct?
Can you repeat that? What do you mean?
As the concentration of Bitcoin is diluted and the Bitcoin dominance percentage goes down, that means it takes less money to make the price go up, correct?
For Bitcoin in particular?
Yes.
Not necessarily. The main idea to look at here is just as that happens, as Bitcoin gets diluted, then it just basically takes money from people. Instead of people investing directly in Bitcoin, they'll skip Bitcoin and they go to like Ethereum and the altcoins instead during that period of time. So it doesn't mean that people will be leaving Bitcoin. to buy the altcoins necessarily, but they won't be buying new Bitcoin at that point, or at least not as much.
And this could be an indicator kind of similar to like, because during that time, that's when Ethereum hit its all-time high. I mean, I think Dash was like $500 at that point as well.
Yeah. Yep.
For 2017, Dash was an ultra shit coin.
Yep.
So this is not necessarily a bad thing for you people that are watching at home. Bitcoin dominance going down is good because Bitcoin. I mean, are any of you guys buying more Bitcoin? I don't buy Bitcoin anymore. It's like no longer profitable.
No, I mean it's profitable, but it's not going to get you the same returns as the other coins at the moment. The later we get in the bull market, the more risky we have to get, right?
We'll roll profits into BTC or ETH later on, and is essentially like a piggy bank, and then get a couple multiples on that, and then essentially then go into cash or stable coins at that point. But for right now, yeah, I mean, especially you guys have been telling people to buy Bitcoin for quite a long time, and that was the time to buy Bitcoin.
Right, sub 15,000. Anything above that, I mean. People will buy at 20,000. Quite frankly, I think they got a little bit lucky because I don't think any of us saw the shoot up coming from 20K to 40K as quick as it happened.
Yeah.
But as of right now, like I know some idiot that was like, yeah, I bought Bitcoin at 64,000. I was just like, he's like, I'm going to double my money. I was like, so you're waiting for Bitcoin to get to $120,000 plus is what you're telling me in order to double your money. And he just sat there scratching his head like a baboon. I was just like, you moron. But again, like people just don't know the simple things. Like if you want your coin to double in price, you need the market cap to double in price.
Right.
And that's why we're going to talk about our Degenerate coin today. Charlie, did you want to just do a quick Ethereum review?
I mean, I looked at the price of Ethereum. It's basically the main review is that it's stronger than Bitcoin right now and hasn't dumped as hard.
Yeah, I think this is a really good thing. Tone Base turned bearish yesterday. That is a strong buy signal. Tone Base is the Peter Schiff of crypto. Like it's just, has that guy been right about anything lately?
I haven't really paid attention to him since he was calling for $2,000 Bitcoin in 2019.
So someone said he just went bearish on Bitcoin, so that's the best buying indicator of all time.
Yeah. Oh Lord. Okay. So all right. So last week, after Moon Gang, we all had our like post Moon Gang Degenerate meeting. And Wasabi is more as much of a Boy Scout as he looks. He's like probably one of the most degenerate guys on the panel. He found this coin. Wasabi, do you want to just talk about it first initially, or what would you like to do?
Yeah, I guess I'll point out. So dollar cost crypto was the one that originally found this play. What I found really attractive on it was. For one, the developers were completely transparent. They're active on Twitter. They show faces. They have LinkedIn's. They're actually students at USC, so University of Southern California, and they had a really interesting. They're building up a really interesting yield aggregator that just basically generates yields on assets like Ethereum, USDC, and basically everything. A lot of coins in this market. They're going for a more degenerate approach, at least on the yield aggregation.
Real quick for people who don't know what yield, because that's kind of a hard word for most people. Yield aggregator. What is a yield aggregator?
Sure. So a yield aggregator is it's essentially a pool of money on Ethereum you can throw, let's say, USD coin into, and basically generate rewards for contributing, let's say, to that pool. So for example, if let's say you throw 1,000 USDC into this pool, the average APY right now is around probably somewhere between, it's actually pretty high in stable coins, but if I had to guess, it's probably somewhere around 15%. So at the end of the year, you will generate 15% on that $1,000. And then over time, you can compound it higher and higher is the idea. And that's what
23%.
23%, yeah, 23%. It's very, very high in stables. In fact, I know the ETH pool on Rari Capital is also pretty high as well. I think it's around like 7 or 8% on ETH, which is very high actually, especially for a scarce asset. So it's just it's a convenient tool for people to generate yield on their assets. Now, if you are using a yield aggregator, it's also best to not necessarily throw your whole stack into it, because ultimately these are all of this is done through smart contracts, and it's going to take time to get to a point where the smart contracts that are used for generating yield are at a point where the market considers them bulletproof, basically, where they've met the test of time, which is the most important with this DeFi stuff. So I will just say that exercise caution if using, let's say, any yield generating tool on Ethereum, and obviously do not throw your entire stack at it. Treat it basically as risk management, and almost just think of it in the safest possible way. Even though it's technically not leverage, just think of it as leverage, and where essentially you're leveraging that, you're trusting the smart contracts that are generating yield for you. Now, most importantly, for Rari Capital. So after DC basically first looked into this coin and basically started giving it dug up some really good details as far as the developers. I noticed that the chart on this had a lot of potential. I mean, the market cap on, we could pull up a chart here. We'll do a share screen.
Only one person finally guessed the name of the token. So the name of the token is RGT. So all you guys, all you Spurgs, go run to your fucking pull up your share. It is the Rari governance token. That's what it stands for. Rari governance token. And I got some tweets I want to pull up as well that I'll show you. But yeah, I'm gonna let you take a look, give an explanation here.
Sure.
Go ahead.
So what's really good, at least with if you look at the price chart for RGT, is it's still pretty young within its macro cycle. If you look at where it's trending, at least so far through this bull market, so far it's obviously had this huge impulse up. But what I like to look for, at least on price charts, is personally, like, I do not like, if you look back when let's say the price was over here. I do not buy necessarily into a pump. That's what I would call it. But since then, the price has hit a level of consolidation and support for basically since mid-February. So it's had over 2 months to consolidate. And this looks like, to me, it's the first impulse in its cycle. And generally, the rule of thumb is you can have 5 impulsive waves in a market cycle. So from the price chart, it does look like it is setting up for another impulse higher. So that would be the 3-wave impulse that actually can be the most explosive and parabolic in its cycle, especially as we're entering alt season. And then it'd be followed on by a 4 and a 5 wave. Now, the USD gains are great on this pair, potentially going into the 3-wave. But most importantly, when I look at coins, the question I ask is, can it outperform Bitcoin and Ethereum, and especially even Ethereum? Because ultimately, if you're buying, let's say, an altcoin in this space, you would expect it to outperform Ethereum. Otherwise, there's no point in holding the coin if it can outperform ETH. So what's really interesting for this coin specifically is the RGT to ETH pair is also showing potential as well. So similar to the USD pair, the ETH pair has had a major impulse as well and has been consolidating for 2 months now. And there's a support level it's steadily hitting, but it's also slowly shifting up as well. So due to the USD chart looking good, the RGT to ETH chart looking great, and then also the market cap, which I believe is around 200 million. There's a lot of room for growth on this thing. It does not take much buying pressure to actually push up the price. So those macros combined with the alt season seem to favor this as a potentially a really good play going into alt season and into this summer. So I personally, like all of us here, bought our bags. Like we're basically packed in and ready. And like we also got in, like just to give like full transparency. I mean, we basically got in around this price range here. So it's not like
$6 for me, $15 when I got in.
Okay. Yeah. And since the potential is really high on this coin, this is one that I'm actively following basically week to week to see what the developments are. And I mean, the developers are really young. One of the really good points that DC made for this coin specifically is you have these 17 and 18-year-olds developers that are working on this, and because they're much younger, there's a higher likelihood you'll see them in this space for years at a time. So just aside from this coin itself, it's sorry, go ahead. You're about
with these guys being so young, they'll be able to be around for much more cycles. They won't age out as fast. They're really young, so these kids are geniuses. Basically,
they're not even old enough to drink. They're such not disparaging the kids, but they're fucking nerds. So all they do is they sit around and they optimize their platform here, and they're not drinking. They're just enjoying, like they're having a good time. And then this right here,
this kid. I mean, I shouldn't say kid. I'm sorry. Like I think he just turned 21 or is 20.
Close your messages on Twitter. We could read them on the right.
Oh, okay. This is the developer on Twitter. So what I'll do is I'll throw the link in the chat if you guys are interested in following him. I definitely think it's worth following this developer. He's very smart. He's a very smart guy. And then he's also good friends with the team members that are working on Rari Capital. I mean, they all know each other. Again, they all go to USC, so they see each other day to day. And then he's basically just overseeing the entire project around Rari Capital. So I'll go ahead and post that link in the chat.
He did something pretty interesting in 2017. This guy he made himself a millionaire selling one of the first DeFi app wallets to, I think. Was it cryptolove.com or it was to a website, but basically he sold one of his DeFi wallet for about over $1 million in 2017. So that's where he got some of the startup capital to start up Rari Capital, was from that initial sell.
Oh, we got a bunch of degenerates already in the chat. Like, I'm selling my computer, I'm buying XIN right now. So I want to clarify, this is not financial advice. This is theoretical at best. But like I said, we look, here's the thing, like Dogecoin is 40 cents, like anything can happen right now. And so what we want to just say is that we understand that it's not necessarily like the most responsible thing to do. That's why we're saying this is legitimately the most degenerate thing we will ever tell you guys to do. However, what I'd like to do is let's do what you did last time when you basically replicated the waves and you did the trajectory of the coin itself. I also want, while you're prepping that chart, I just want to show something that I saw on Twitter as well. One of my friends, Japan D Jones, a famous verified Twitch streamer, he hit me up in our private chat, and he sent me this, and it was so funny. This is from Tetranode. It says 217% APY from depositing USDC. Chainlink God plus Tetranode, you just win. RGT, RG Capital, Rari Capital, Ethereum, and then it says it's going to be interesting in the to be declared future to see Rari Capital plug their yield aggregator back into the fuse pool, dog fooding their own yields. Just buy the worthless governance token already. Oh man, it's so degenerate, but it's just, like I said, it's not financial advice, but personally, I put 10 Ethereum into it. So I'm either going to get ultra wrecked or I'm going to be buying scuba gear to find the rest of my crypto.
So I mean, the rule of thumb with this type of coin, right, is you don't go in with the majority of your capital, right?
Right, exactly.
You go with a small percentage of your portfolio. So unless you really, really understand it and you're really bullish on the people behind it, right? So for example, right, if you're holding 80% of your cryptocurrency and not touching any of it, and then 20% of it you're willing to do stuff with, maybe, consider 5-10%. If this is the only altcoin that you're in besides maybe your main bag, then, or maybe your most degen thing, then, you can go maybe a little bit higher in that percentage. But generally speaking, right, don't put like 50% of your portfolio in this thing. So, yeah.
Right. And then I also want to share something, right? So we're speculating. Speculating in this because the governance token is actually trash, as says the kids as well who've made it. What's going on right now is Tetranode, which is a huge whale, ETH whale. I mean, giga whale in ETH, giga whale. Like dudes like coming around here probably like anywhere from like 10,000 to 30,000 ETH plus. That's what kind of bags he's got, Tetranode. So he's helping the team with the tokenomics for the governance token. So that's they haven't leaked anything just yet, but eventually there'll probably be some income generating that the yield's going to do based off of the fuse pools as well as the earn pools as well. But for right now, the governance token, it doesn't really do much other than like vote a couple things here and there. But that's what it does for now. But there's going to be future upgrades to it. So you are just getting into it while it's still under progress basically. But the guys are working really hard and stuff, and then they've created some crazy stuff, which I can get into in a minute if you guys want to like get on some other part of it.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to look at the website, right? I think I put it in the private chat there. If you would go to Rari.capital and just kind of give them, because I mean we've done a technical overview, right, on the chart and everything like that. It'd be kind of good to for you to jump into the fundamentals.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see.
Everybody, look, every one of these filthy stinking apes in the chat, they want to see the technical analysis. And I mean, you, Wasabi, you said that like there's a probability for a $700 target on this. Was that what you said? I believe.
Yeah, so that was that was
really speculative. Really speculative.
Yeah, very speculative target. This was as if you held the coin until the end. So personally, my strategy. The only thing I really care about is the performance relative to ETH. So if it, let's say, does a 5 to 10x versus Ethereum, which may sound crazy, but it is possible. And again, do not throw your whole stack into this. If you do, it's very silly. If you do, again, this is a low cap, very high volatility, and if you throw your whole stack in this, you'll probably just get shaken out from the volatility anyway. So be rational how you manage your risk, and none of this is financial advice. But the performance gains it can make versus Ethereum are there because it's a low cap, and there's also more eyes that are starting to find their way onto Rari Capital. I mean, what's really cool that John's showing here, Modern Life Dating is showing here, is the amount of capital that's being used through Rari Capital. So it's around 76 million right now, and this number has actually grown quite a bit. In fact, when DC first found Rari Capital, this was actually around 25 million. So it's already done a 3x since then. So what I'm speculating personally is there's speculative accumulation taking place on the coin, and people are intentionally not really talking about it because then it gives them more time to basically fill up their bags before there's just more awareness. But there are the Twitter handles for the developers for Rari Capital, such as Jai, is growing pretty fast as well. That's the other observation, is there's more and more followers. So ultimately that's going to lead to more speculative buying. And then also the total size, the total value locked. So that 76 million being the total value locked is also going to increase as well. So I think it's a good speculative play, not financial advice. But if you are, let's say, holding Rari Capital, if it, let's say, makes like a 5 to 10x move versus Ethereum, that puts it at a multi-$100 target. So even $700 is not something that's even that crazy in this bull market, because again, it has a 200 million market cap right now, and right now it's about, let's say, $20. So that's about a 35x move. That would put it at approximately like a 7 billion market cap if it hits that level. So it's not out of the realm. It's actually not crazy, especially during alt season. But personally, like if it starts making really big moves, I am eventually going to de-risk, at least pull my principal out versus Ethereum, because that's really the whole point with a lot of the ERC20 plays, is you want extended gains versus Ethereum. So if you get to a point where it does like a 2 and 3x, it's probably good to at least pull your principal out, and then you could ride the rest out on the house to potential moon targets. And so far, that's going to be my personal strategy for how I de-risk and then hold the remainder of my Rari Capital.
Can you put the link to this website in the chat as well? Because
yeah, sure.
A lot of these chimpanzees are going to want to stare at this number and fucking just ape in all day long. Knowledge of Wisdom, $2 super chat. So where is it available? Asking for friend. It is available on Uniswap and Uniswap only. If I'm correct.
Yeah, I was just going to mention there's a lot of people asking.
It's not available on MetaMask, but you can
you can't do Metaswap with it. You can just do it on Uni.
But you can connect your MetaMask wallet to Uniswap and acquire it pretty easily.
Yeah, basically.
Any more super chat? No. Yeah, put that one in the chat for us there, Wasabi. This link to this thing here.
Just linked.
Just linked? Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So one thing with the whole Rari Capital, just to give it a brief explanation so this is the main product currently right now. The original product of Rari Capital, they've released something called Fuse, which I'll get into in a minute. But this is the pools, the stable pools. So basically, what they've done is allowed you to essentially do kind of what the rich are kind of doing inside of crypto. So with the high gas fees, a lot of people, what these guys with a lot of money are doing is that they're jumping from basically this high APY on this one website, then it moves and they're moving it to another website. So what they're doing is they're moving their capital from website to website, but because they have so much money, the gas fees doesn't do anything. So they actually gain quite a lot of money by doing this. So this is where people with $300,000+ are earning, like 40 grand a month, basically. Just crazy obscene numbers just by moving their coins from place to place. So what Rari Capital is doing is allowing the regular person to just deposit their money on there. And then because it pools all your money together, their contract is moving the money from the highest APY on all the websites. So they have all the websites kind of linked up to a server. And then the minute it's more profitable to mine it somewhere else, they'll move all the USDC, like $900 million, $9 million over here and just try to earn you the best yield. And then by doing that, it gets you the highest returns.
And the market cap, to be honest, is like ridiculously low, especially for cryptocurrency in general. I think right now, according the market cap, according to Coin Market Cap right now, is only $174 million. Again, according to Coin Market Cap, that is laughable in crypto land. That is a complete joke. And I've been paying attention. I don't know if you guys have been noticed, but it's been climbing up the rankings. It went from level 300 rank, and now it's like 290. And I think it went as high as 265 at one point. So it does definitely seem to be gaining some momentum again. Obviously, not financial advice, saying that again and again and again. The all-time high was only 6 days ago, and that was $26.24. And obviously, the whole, as me and Charlie mentioned last week, the whole reason the market was pumped was because ICO was manipulating the market. And then they talked about it on Moon Gang as well. Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, sold $250 million worth of his stocks on the first day of the IPO. Does any fucking CEO do that? I mean, is that not pure fucking corruption? Transparent as day, like, oh yeah, I totally believe in my product. Let me just get rid of all my shares. Not all. I mean, he still has a bunch of shares, but taking a quick $250 million payday just shows you, they definitely absolutely artificially pumped the market, and everything's recovering right now. But already, I mean, Ethereum has not fully recovered, but properly recovered. What's Ethereum's like right now? 2,300 right now.
Yeah, it's solid at 2370, so almost 2400. I mean, it got up to the last high was 25, basically 2548, 2550. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's doing really, really strong right now. And that's, there's also this metric with crypto, which is called SOPR. Basically, spent output profit ratio just says when people are selling Bitcoin at a loss. Generally, people are not trying to sell Bitcoin at a loss in a bull market. Pretty simple logic right there.
Yeah.
And so when that thing shows, you can view it on glassnode.com if anybody wants to go look that up. When it shows that people are selling Bitcoin at a loss, usually, and it's been like that through the majority of this year, that's a good buy the dip opportunity. So if Bitcoin is in a buy the dip opportunity, I'm not hashtag not financial advice, do your own research. Some people are a little bit more bearish on it than that. But if it is at a good buy the dip opportunity, then and Ethereum is recovering really well, then boom, if Ethereum does break its all-time high and get back above 2550, then things like RGT are going to start taking off. You could probably see it, probably a 50% increase to a double on RGT within the span of like a couple of weeks after Ethereum breaks its all-time high.
He's writing something funny. Look at this guy's writing. Can you read that, Charlie?
Jonathan, or what is it?
Don't read it out loud, but just read it to yourself.
Okay.
Oh, it's funny. You guys are crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, Joe Fon says, where can I get Rari? Again, you can get it at uniswap.org. I believe that's the only place you can get it, right? You can't get it on MetaMask right now.
Yeah, uniswap.org is the place you're going to want to get it. So you have to take your Ethereum, put it on your MetaMask wallet, go over to uniswap.org, swap it for RGT. If you cannot find RGT or aren't sure which one to do, you can go to coingecko.com. You can also go to coinmarketcap.com. And I'll just show this on the screen real quick for people. Can you see this?
Yes, here we go.
So if you're not sure which one you're getting, right, you can see this contract here. You just press the click to copy. And then when you go over to uniswap.org, you can paste that in the cell where you need to enter the coin you want to swap your Ethereum for. And then it will show up, it will show RGT. So just make sure that this address is correct and the same as what you're seeing there on Uniswap. Because you don't want to buy the wrong coin.
Wasabi, do you want to pull up just like a regular chart and just show us like how you were the price trajectory as well? Because that was the final straw that it made me ape the fuck in.
Sure. Yeah, let's actually do that. We'll pull up. We'll also pull up. We'll pull up CoinMarketCap side by side, so it's easier to see. Basically the market cap as well, just to get an idea of where RGT lies relative to a lot of coins in the market as a starting point. Because I think the pumpamental philosophy that DC has around the market cap works extremely well in terms of the outsized return. So we'll first start off with the market cap. So it's around 200 million fully diluted, or 175 million, depending on the source you're looking at. And to break even in the top, let's say 100 today, you need to hit, let's say, an 830 million market cap just to break into the top 100. So there's already a 4x delta there, 4 to 5x delta there just to break into the market cap. So then if you look at the price chart, at least with respect to USD, for Rari Capital to even make it, let's say, into the top 100, and as of today, it would have to do a 4 to 5x move on its current price around. So right now, around $20. That puts it basically around $100 on the price chart. So just to get an idea of that move itself, you're looking around $100, let's say, where this purple line is. And then the idea with at least the impulsive wave, so if this was the 1 and 2 wave, depending on where you measure it, if this is the 1 and 2 wave, the 3 wave, generally speaking, is at least the same size as the 1 wave, and it could actually extend higher because the 3 wave tends to be very parabolic in nature. In fact, the market itself, like if you look at Ethereum, which is doing extremely well recently, leading the market, Ethereum is currently in its 3 wave. The entire market is basically in its 3 wave. So if you, let's say, overlay the impulsive wave that's already happened, and then just take a measured move as to what it can hit if it just does that again, I mean, that puts it around like a $500, $500 to $600 price target. And that's just saying if the move is the same. If it goes higher, if it let's say matches up with what's considered a textbook 3 wave, that's where you can hit those $700 targets. So roughly where this purple line is on the chart. And then to get an idea of the percentage gains there, so from the current price level, that's basically that's a lot, like 2600%. That's another 20, that's potentially another 27x move. Now, again, not financial advice. And if you're speculating on Rari Capital, this is this is something you put a lower percentage of your total holdings into if you're speculating on it, because of this potential asymmetric risk to reward potential. It does not necessarily require going into complete degeneracy to make money on this. Like, be very reasonable about it. Again, the people that make it in this market over long periods of time have good risk management, because if you don't manage to wreck yourself now, you will later. That's just how this game works. So just be very reasonable as to how much capital you put into this, because this is a low cap, basically a micro cap. Because as Modern Life Dating mentions, the market cap, speaking like compared to the rest of the market, it's a joke today. But then that also means there's the potential for those outsized returns, and that's ultimately what we're looking for if you're not holding Ethereum, which Ethereum is guaranteed to do extremely well. Like, Ethereum is going to do amazing in this bull market. So again, just manage your risk accordingly, and you could potentially make good money on this play.
And so, what would the market cap have to be in order for it to get to 500? There.
So to get to 500, the market cap would shift up to you, and I believe was it 175 million on CoinGecko?
Yeah,
okay, so 100. So if it was 175 on CoinGecko, that puts it around a 4.3 billion market cap. And as of today, a 4.3 billion market cap lands you in, let's say, the top. Right around the top 30, or I'd say the top 40. It puts you around the top 40. But granted, what's also nice, because realistically, if Rari starts pumping a lot, the entire altcoin market's also likely expanding at the same time. But the idea is that Rari Capital has the potential to make bigger gains relative to other alts in the market. So in practice, by the time it hits, let's say, these higher market caps, the rest of the market will have expanded too. But that also means the risk to reward potential actually favors it more in that situation, because let's say if it hits a 4.3 billion market cap, that might be, let's say, rank 75 in the market, which puts it way more realistic. Because ideally for this, at least for this three wave, I think anywhere from 100 to 75 is reasonable targets it can hit on the rankings. That would be incredible gains just to make it within the top 100 on CoinMarketCap. So that's the advantage, is the whole market will expand, and by the time Rari overheats, the rest of the market is going to be at a slightly higher level. So it just favors it going into the top 100 as an underdog.
Right. And then if you could just go, like I said, if you guys want to monitor it, just elementary monitoring, this website right here, app.rari.capital, bookmark it, put it in your Google Chrome bookmark bar. And then you could literally just every day wake up and see what's the total value locked on the coin. And is it going up or is it going down? Like, obviously number go up, profits go up, goes down, and obviously goes down as well. Right. But the ultimate thing you want to do is make sure you're doing your own research if you are going to ape into this thing. Again, full transparency, all four of us have aped into it, and we're all willing and ready to get wrecked. So like theoretically, you could say we're gambling to an extent, just like for full transparency. Yeah. But at the same time, if you just do the math and you look at the project itself, it's. I mean, how old is the project? Is it less than 2 years old?
Yeah, very new.
Yeah, it's really new. Let me check.
Yeah, DCC was. I think it was like the end of last year, at some point.
Yeah, it was like October. It was like October of 2020.
Yeah. What? Not even a year old.
Not even a year old. It's not a year old.
And the interesting thing about it is, if you take away that, I think there was a few people in the chat a while back saying about different places to generate yield or interest on your tokens, right? Celsius is an example where they do the work for you. And then there's a bunch of other platforms, and this being a newer one of them. I think dollar cost. If he takes a look at the website, Rari.capital, he can give us a pretty good insight of kind of how this is a little bit different than its competitors, which I think is actually an important point to understand, because if you can't see the difference between this and its competitors, then you don't quite fully get the fundamental reason why this could be successful in a different way than things like Aave or Celsius.
Real quick, I just want to point out this guy, Antoine 17, says it's going down right now. So this is why, again, it just took me 2 seconds to refresh and look that actually during the broadcast, it's already gone up $1 on the chart. So do your own research. Don't read shit in the chat like this fucking moron. And because if you just look at people's stupidity in the chat and basically trading off of that, you're going to lose money, and quite frankly, you deserve to lose money. Here you go, Miguel.
Oh yeah, for sure. So one of the different ways that they kind of do this is that they're earning on more degenerate plays, basically. So where Celsius is kind of lending more into institutional players, so they're doing sec lending. So Celsius's business model is they do some yield farming, but a majority of their money is actually just lending to bigger hedge funds or family offices when they want to do a trade. So it's a very secured loan, and it's not so dangerous because they're getting a lot of collateral, where this is that they're using your collateral to play around inside the DeFi space. That's why the yields are higher. So it's riskier, but that's why there's more money in it, as well as why they jump around from place to place to place. That way you don't get burned, basically. And this is a lot more advanced to kind of do yourself and stuff. So that's why, like, typically we've been recommending Celsius and stuff for passive money or savings, because it's very safe there. But this is a place where you can put like $30,000, $45,000 on the stable pool and just start earning extra money on top of that. And that APY right there is actually kind of off, because it really generates, like, so I've seen it some days go up to as high as 200% APY for a day or two.
Yeah.
And that stuff really adds up. So I mean, honestly, if you look on the green arrow right here, that's the projected money right there, how much faster the yield pool. So there's such a hunger for dollars in the market that you can grow pretty steadily. Even the ETH pool is earning higher than on Celsius, actually. Mm-hmm. But you are taking more risk when you're doing that. So that's kind of like the give and take, where Celsius, you're getting more very safe yield on it, which is about, I think, 5%. Over here, you're getting an additional 4.75% more yield. That's a lot more ETH. So that's on average, and I think that's low as well, because I've seen that spike as high as like 22%. So you're probably, if you have 100 Ethereum, just to make the math easy, 100 Ethereum, after a year, you would probably make anywhere from 12 to probably 22 ETH a year in interest payments, which is quite a significant amount, especially later on in the cycles when we start going really far along to this things where like ETH could be worth $5,000 a piece or higher. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So that's the main difference between like Rari Capital and Celsius, is just more the degenerate places where they earn yield, but they're jumping kind of from place to place to make sure that the APY, for risking their capital, you get the higher APY. And then another thing that they just released, which is called the Fuse Pools, is they've essentially created their own kind of like Aave lending market. So they're basically this pool, this is just, it's closed right now, but what eventually any person, so just like Uniswap allowed any small token or small cap coin to list for free, this is essentially, you're going to be able, most coins, because they're brand new, do not have a lending market. So let's just say, as an example, what's a new coin? I don't know. Like, let's just say like Hex, right? No, there's no place to borrow on Hex. You could just make a Hex ETH pool, and then you'll be able to borrow on your Hex and be able to borrow on it, or any token. That's what's so revolutionary about this. But they're still testing it out. But one of the big testers is actually Chainlink God and Tetranode. These two dudes are giga whales, and they're back in this project right now. That's another reason why it was a big bullish flag for me for this, because Chainlink God's one of the top holders of Chainlink. So he's a very wealthy dude. Tetranode's been along for a long time. Dude's very wealthy as well, and they're backing this project, as well as that they're creating pools and liquidity to start testing out these pools. And once these pools are pretty bulletproof along with the strategies, then there's probably going to be an explosion of like smaller projects coming on here, and it's listing. They're like, hey, if you ever want to borrow money on the coin, just come over here to Rari Capital to borrow money, and then we have a Rari Capital pool. and the teams will be incentivized to provide liquidity. And then from there, you'll be able to borrow on the coin, and that will create more value for the coin because you can essentially take leverage. And that's really cool. And they're coming out even with more and more products. They have tranches as well, which they work with
Saffron.
with Saffron. Sorry, with Saffron. And this is more of to essentially there's something called liquidity pool mining, where you essentially lend out your USDC or DAI, and then because of that you get yield as well as airdrop tokens for doing that. But they've essentially been able to tranche it into 3 separate. This is really advanced, so I wouldn't recommend this right here. This is pretty advanced stuff right here. But basically, if you were to deposit your APY here, you would essentially give up a lot of your interest payments, but you would get a ton of the rewards right here of Saffron. Or you could decide to take almost very small rewards on the free Saffron you'd get, but get 10 times the actual interest you would get. So it's essentially splits it up how you want, or you take more of a combined version of it. But this, you're getting much less interest. But if on the case of like a Black Swan event, the AA tranche would be protected, and then it'd be liquidated in this kind of this one would get liquidated last, second, first. So because it's a 10x interest earned and stuff, and you're getting less interest, it's pretty risky. So a lot of people are earning on this side, but they're also taking the risk if the price goes down quite a lot because it's levered, you'll get wrecked basically. So this is the kind of stuff these guys and these teams, that they're creating, and they keep coming up with more and more stuff. And this right here is crazy because this is on level with like Uniswap in terms of revolutionary for places. Having a place to create yield is insane because other than stable coins, right? Most tokens don't have a very big lending market. So Chainlink God had to come out to Rari Capital to create this market because a token as big as Chainlink doesn't have that big of a liquid market to borrow and lend on it, even on Aave. So this is pretty revolutionary what these guys have created.
And that's the big part of why like Miguel is such a valuable member in this team over here, because a lot of people don't even know like who these crypto superstars are. Chainlink God and Tetranode. People would think like these are usernames for like groups or something, but you have to understand that the cryptocurrency world is a young man's game, and it is like there's just so much information out there, and there's so much money to be made, but you have to have the right people. And honestly, you can't do it yourself. You'd be a fool to try and do it yourself. Your brain would fry out. That's like we have a team, like Miguel and myself are more fundamental. Charlie and Wasabi are the technical aspects guys. And, by our powers combined, we are Moon Gang. And so, like,
Voltron.
That's the power of sticking together and working together. So, when the Crypto Mindset course comes out, when Masculine Empowerment Network comes out as well, all 3 of these guys will be in Masculine Empowerment Network as well. So with these fundamentals put together, it's really hard not to make money. Again, not financial advice. Can we run a moon math to because people are wanting moon math? What if we just got a 10x? So because we had a $500 like at the top, like a very kind of extremely speculative, optimistic case. But what if we just run moon math to a 10x to $150? Or just 150, roughly 10x.
Yeah. So there.
Go ahead.
Did you want to? It's fine.
Pull up the chart if you can, Wasabi.
Sure.
But Wasabi, I think you're more versed in this coin. Miguel, talk about that in the meantime while he pulls up the chart.
Yeah. So basically, if we did a 10x and on current prices, that would roughly put it at number 75 in market cap. And this is the same thing that like Wasabi was talking about in terms of a moving target, is that it isn't like it 10x's in like one day. It takes a month or two for that to happen. And because we're in a bull market, it's a running thing. So what ends up happening is the market caps on everything else are also increasing. So it makes it if the market caps are increasing higher and higher and higher, everything looks like less crazy not to pump. Yeah. So it actually makes it even more pumpable. And then two, it's this whole thing where like because everything's pumping, you can get away with over pumping because you really are like hyped up. And then this, especially once you get into the top 100, a lot of the top 100 is about narrative, right? Mm-hmm. These guys are really, really marketable. They're like a young team and stuff. They're gonna start getting like Facebook vibes. Like, whoa, this is like the next Facebook team. This is crazy. Like super young kids taking over the world. Boom. That's marketable.
Easily.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And sorry, go ahead. I think you're about to say something there.
I'll check the private chat, by the way. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and what's really interesting, if you like, let's say we do consider hitting price levels around $150 to $200. Let's just say even 150. Let's just reduce it. Let's just say we're being, more reasonable. That's still about, you're still looking roughly about close to a 9x move on that. And if you look at the price of Ethereum today, for Ethereum to make, let's say, a 9x move, that would put it around a price of actually close to $20,000. So during that time frame, if Rari makes let's say Ethereum makes like a 2 to 3x move, I wouldn't be surprised to see something like Rari double the same, like the size of the move that Ethereum does in terms of multiples. But again, this is I will say this over and over again, because I know people are going to look at price charts and they're going to say, if I go all in, I can make a lot of ETH. But you can also this is a very speculative play. This is why, be reasonable when you're investing in low cap stuff, because it does not take that much percent of your portfolio to make potentially huge gains on it. But if you over leverage and the price doesn't work in your favor, you nuke your entire portfolio. So be sustainable, just be rational, be sustainable, because in alt season and in an altcoin bubble, the entire market is going to hit absurd levels of overvaluation. And because of that narrative that DC just mentioned, with these potentially being young kids that are just active in the market, modern life dating hit the point really hard, where these are just nerds that like to work on crypto. That's what their personality is. They like to work on this stuff, which makes them potentially very attractive to basically invest in it and invest in that coin. So there's a lot of potential upside on this play. There really is. And if you're looking around price levels of $150, it's likely during that time frame going to expand as well on the RGT to ETH pair, because ultimately that's the main thing we all want to be realistic about, is how much further can RGT to ETH make. And the gains potential on this pair are also pretty substantial as well, because even if you look at this 2-month consolidation range here, whatever moves Ethereum has been making in the market, RGT has been holding up nicely in terms of its USD price and tracking it at the very least quite well. So these are going to be volatile. These are going to be volatile versus the base pair, that being Ethereum. So if, let's say, you even take the current price relative to ETH and then measure it back to the closest moving average, the swings on this thing are around like 20 to 30%. And that's why the volatility is so high on low market caps. It kind of goes in the nature with the size of the coin. Yeah. These are low percentage bets so that you don't get shaken out with the volatility. As modern life dating, each of us basically threw a 10 ETH bet into this, and we're gonna hold on to it, and we're gonna see how it performs going into all season. So I would say that would at least give you a good sense on the price charts. Just be very reasonable as to how much ETH you're throwing in. I mean, it's all relative to what percent of your holdings are. If you hold 10 ETH, like, you should not be throwing in 40% of your stack into this. It's all relative to your portfolio. Again, each person's going to be different. Just be reasonable as to how much you decide to speculate into Rari capital. But all of us are definitely speculating it here on the panel.
Shout out to Danny Chan with the $25 donation. He says, "Give me some of that Oni-chan." There you go. This is what we're gonna do in the market, baby. Appreciate the donation. Now, Charlie, if you do not mind, because Wasabi,
you
made
guys
a
don't donate $100 right now. You're a
Extra Guac, thanks for the dono. $5 donation says, for the gentleman doing the work to help their peers. Oni-chan, baby. That's right. Oni-chan #1. So what Wasabi was saying is that basically Rari is trailing along the price with Ethereum and following along. Charlie, now you have called for about a $5,000 Ethereum relatively soon. Definitely 3,000 in May is what we're believing. Could you pull up an Ethereum chart and just kind of give a
definitely
TLDR on this?
Yep.
Just because I think that it's really important to do it. And I just want to point out, like, earlier we were like 400 plus viewers. Now we're kind of like 375. See, I just want to say, like, we've been going for an hour and 15 minutes, but like the people that just can't sit and pay attention to like the possibility, even if it's a possibility to not make money by like, okay, I've analyzed RGT and I realize I'm going to stay away from this. But like, this is why me and Wasabi are like the cynics of the group. Like, we're just like, these fuckers are going to get wrecked. And they deserve it. But, like, you just got to pay attention. Like, it's literally an hour, even if it's 2 hours out of your day, we're literally showing you like stuff that like Shitboy isn't talking about this. Tone Voice is not talking about this. Alex Becker is definitely not talking about this. Like, we're bringing stuff to the table that we believe has value for you guys out there in the audience. A lot of you guys are aping in already, which kind of concerns me. But we do have high confidence in this coin. And then to top it off, like, the math does check out, as well as the youth of the program, the youth of the members, and also the program itself. It's had such massive success. It's not even 1 year old. Not even 1 year old. So even if you hold it until Q4 and you're like, okay, guess what? I bought it at, I don't know, $20, and like Q4, it's $40, right? You doubled your money. And like, who cares? You doubled your money by touching a keyboard, right? Just these little fundamental things that you think don't matter, but they do. Charlie's got the chart here for Ethereum. Charlie, take it away.
Yep, no problem. So basically here we have Ethereum's short-term movement, right? All the pumps that's been happening here since I guess if it first pumped up into a new basically to its previous all-time highs just below 1400, broke that area right around here and came up, right? I've been holding this area as support. And so what's Ethereum doing right now? It's holding up above this area here, right? Which is about $2,000 or $1,950. And then it's also trying to hold up above this second area right here. So in the short term, that's what Ethereum is doing. The second area here is about 2150, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, just roughly speaking. And the area it needs to break is this previous all-time high, which is about 2550. So if Ethereum were to break down below one of these previous areas, and definitely below this line here, this trend line, which would basically be the 50-day moving average. If it were to break below there, then a lot of things basically wouldn't pump. So in order for Ethereum to have a $3,000 plus price target here in the next month or so, we need to see Ethereum make new all-time highs. So that's the requirement here. So whenever you talk or whenever you look at these charts, it's always like a if this, then that scenario, right? We need something to happen first before we get these targets. So it's impossible to say at any given time, it's definitely going to do this or it's definitely going to do that. But if it does break that previous all-time high, then it is going to go definitely at least to $3,000 in May. I'm thinking closer to the $5,000 mark. I know Wasabi was talking on the Moon Gang about 4,000, which is kind of a good in-between mark for the month of May. And when we look at Ethereum's basic price chart here in its entire bull cycle, really, it's not very far off from its previous all-time high from the last bull market. It really hasn't gone too crazy yet, right? The high here is only about an 82% increase, which is crazy in any other market, or you'd probably say about a 76% increase, but which is crazy in any other market. But in crypto, it's like, yeah, that's not too bad. Whereas with Bitcoin, if we were to go back on the weekly chart here and just zoom out here to, oh, there we go. Actually, no, it's going to be a little bit messy, but zoom into where its all-time high was, and then take a look from its previous all-time high to where it is now, or where the high that it's had so far in this bull market. That's a 229% increase, right? So Ethereum is lagging behind what it's done in this bull market past its all-time high, much more so than where Bitcoin has gone. And like we said at the beginning of the show, Bitcoin's pretty high. So you should have bought most of the Bitcoin that you wanted under 60K, ideally under 20K, or even more ideally, if you would have been watching the Tokyo Crypto Show since day one, under 10K, right? And so for Ethereum here, we still have a lot of room to run. If Ethereum was to simply just kind of make up for lost time and get to where Bitcoin has been on a 229% increase from its previous all-time high, what would that bring us to? That would bring us to roughly about $4,760. So Ethereum's just getting started in the second half, second portion of this bull run, which tends to be the most crazy. I think I've talked about this to a few people, Ethereum having the chance to go to 5,000 here within the next 2 months or month and a half. And they've said, that sounds crazy, absolutely bonkers. But compared to what we've seen in the last bull market and the ones before that, it's not a really, I mean, it's a substantial move, but it's not crazy. It's happened in crypto before. So if Ethereum does break its previous all-time high of 2,600, then that becomes comes in the cards. And so 3,000 is a very likely scenario here.
And that's something we've been saying on Moon Gang for such a long time as well. Like how undervalued ETH is compared to Bitcoin. Like it is
so undervalued. It's the altcoin of the year, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, even now Ethereum's already proved itself so much; it's not going away, right? We could basically level it up and say, okay, it's for sure blue chip. Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're not going away. Those two coins are definitely here to stay for the long term, and so take it out of the the shitcoin vocabulary and bring it up to that next level. And then we have other coins in this bull market which will try to do that over the next 2 bull markets. Right by the end of this decade, we might have coins like Polkadot, maybe other coins as well that might level up to that blue chip status as like main players that are moving the crypto space. So yeah, I mean, Ethereum's like one of the best bets you can do in this entire bull market, hands down.
And my math was off on the previous assumption that Bitcoin hit 3,000 in May of 2017. I was actually wrong. It hit 3,000 in August. However, in May of 2017, because I have the theory that Ethereum is kind of following the same path of Bitcoin in 2017. On May 25th in 2017, Bitcoin maxed out at like about $2,700. So if you were to go along that, loosely put together logic, it is definitely outpacing Bitcoin prior to Bitcoin's massive run up to $19,000 at the end of 2017. And now, like, we look at, people are salivating for $19,000 Bitcoin. People would, they would sell their house and would ape into everything. So I just think, like, again, a lot of guys, I'm just going to say this. A lot of people are kind of spoiled in this community because of the crypto mindset course. They've won so much money so fast, so easily. Like right now, there's like a lull in the market. Like, oh, fuck this goddamn crypto shit. It's a scam. Like, I've only made like, 15, 20,000 extra dollars, and it's in April. Right. But I just say, like, you have to be patient because this recent pump that we saw was a scam pump. It was artificial by Coinbase. Literally, like right after the IPO, it crashes. Like, is this a coincidence? Come on, get the fuck out of here. Use your brain. And so we're recovering right now from the artificial pump, but we are recovering pretty well. Ethereum's already back on track. Bitcoin's been holding steady around 55,000. Remember, just a couple of months ago, people were like, "Oh my god, new all-time high Bitcoin 56,000. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, it's never going to hit that again." Now it's just casually chilling at 55,000. We're just getting started with the bull market. Like, this is like, I think we haven't seen peak insanity yet. I think we're going to see some real insanity in July. So like, make sure your bags are packed. Keep an eye on what's happening with Charlie's channel and the crypto mindset course coming up soon. And then John Varela, $5 super chat, says Doge to $1 boys, screen cap it. Also, John looks like Michael Jackson, hotter, balder cousin. Thank you so much. Thank you. I am not bald. I am balding, but I am not bald. But I'm gonna get a hair transplant, so get out of here. Use my crypto gains to buy a full head of hair like Elon Musk. Yeah, guys, by the way, please smash the like button just to help us gain favor in the algorithm, because YouTube loves to just crap on us because we're actually shitting on the Federal Reserve and all this scam that run by the government. Anything else we want to add to this? We've been going for quite a while here.
Yeah, it's one of those points. I guess the last point is, don't risk more than you're willing to lose, right? I think there was some guys in the crypto mindset course in Q1 who we gave them a little bit of a taste, right, of a shitcoin play with Grow, and we told them exactly the playbook, right? When to take profit when you get to, you know, 2 or 3x, right? Turn that back into Ethereum. Make sure that you're only holding profit in that if you want to hold it longer than 1 month in that particular case, right? And probably 80% of the people pretty much couldn't pull it off, right? Yeah. So we told them exactly what to do and pretty much a rough timing for it. And 80% of them didn't, you know, play it properly and take profits. So I see a few people in the chat saying, you know, I can see that I'm, you know, a little bit too green for this. I understand it. It's something that's interesting to learn, but it's not for me at this time. If that's you, great. It's good that you understand that about yourself, but make sure, you know, that you don't do it then, right? Because there's some people that just be like, these guys said it, I'm going to do it, right? And that's absolutely ridiculous. I think dollar cost Miguel, he had talked about some of the fundamentals. Take what he said and then figure out how much you understand of it, and then Google the part that you don't understand and try to figure that out, right? I think somebody else in the chat had mentioned, do your research, you know, ape into research before you ape into the coin. I think that's really, really good advice. And then take a look at what Wasabi is talking about on the technicals of the chart, and at least try to understand his logic of what he's doing there, and see if you agree or not. See if there's any maybe holes in this logic that you may not think of right away. So like just running over there to, you know, press that buy button. It's easy and it's fun. But you know, have a plan, right? Try to have some sort of strategy when you're doing shit like this. So be careful out there, but again, only put in what you're willing to lose.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's going to do it for us though. Be sure to check us out here. Subscribe to each channel. I'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out Dollar Cost Crypto's channel. Wasabi's going to get his channel up and running soon. And then Charlie from Cultivate Crypto. Ape together strong, guys. But obviously do your own research, not financial advice. Don't sue us. Until then, we'll see you next time. Peace out.